thing lied. It was not even 2 minutes.
What did you mean, Mom?
Babe, I wasn't ready. I was waiting for 3 minutes.
Well, it means that maybe mommy has a little baby in her tummy.
Right now?
Maybe, but you gotta keep this a secret.
No, I will tell the dad.
Yeah,
Tell
you
me,
can
tell me.
her.
What do you need to tell me?
We got legs already.
So little. Look at the baby.
It's moving.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, we're having a baby girl! Oh my god!
We're gonna have a girl.
Good job, Maria. Okay, Robin, please take over Dr. Colmar. Congratulations. We do want Dr. Colmar to just take a look at the baby, but everything's looking good, okay? Appreciate that. We're gonna put you in. You did. Congratulations. Hello, honey.
Thank you so much.
So proud of you.
1658. Oh, my sweet girl.
You got what you wanted there. Nice job. She smells good, too.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been quite some time since I last filmed a video. As many of you know, if you follow me on my Instagram, I gave birth around 6 weeks ago, and now I'm back because I want to share my labor and delivery story, and I've been toiling and wondering how I should share it because there's so many aspects that I want to touch on. But what I decided to do is that I'm gonna tell you guys like just the facts of how it all went down, and then I want to tell you like the spiritual emotional side of how I prepared and what it meant to me, because as many of you know or might not know, I have had 2 previous C-sections, and I was really fighting for a VBAC this time, and I had mentioned it here and there slightly in some of my videos, but I didn't really let anybody know how much I wanted this because it was just something that it was one of those things that I just felt like I needed to be kind of silent about and just prepare where no one was watching, nobody knew what I was doing to prepare. So anyway, I'm so excited to share this, especially because I know there's so many women out there who have had C-sections, who dream of having a vaginal delivery, and I just hope that my story inspires people. I'm gonna do different videos just because I feel like I don't want this video to just take forever. So today I just want to share my labor and delivery story, so if you are wanting to hear it, then just keep watching. Okay, so as I mentioned, I had 2 previous C-sections. One was an emergency one with my first son, and the second one I didn't go into labor either. I got induced, and I just wasn't progressing. I got to 9 centimeters, baby wasn't descending, got another C-section, and then we waited a while, I think, yeah, almost 3 years, got pregnant again, and I just really wanted a VBAC. I wanted a vaginal delivery. I wanted to experience what even going into labor felt like, because I always had to be induced. My body never went into labor on its own, and that was one of the biggest things that I prayed for and wanted, was for my body to just do its own thing, because as a woman I feel like I was made to be able to experience just labor pains. And as many of you know, I shared that I got gestational diabetes. I got diagnosed at 29 weeks, and that was a setback that definitely threw me for a loop, because you always think, oh, it's not going to be me, I'm not going to get anything, you know? And so I shared that with you guys. The gestational diabetes was diet controlled, so I was able to do that. And then around, I feel like it was 35 to like 36, 37 weeks, baby girl was transverse, meaning her head was on, just pretend this is my belly, her head was here, like she was laying sideways. And I was already like in the last weeks of pregnancy, and so that threw me for a loop as well, because she wasn't head down. And my midwife kept saying, like, you know, if she doesn't get in the right position, it's going to be really hard for you to go to try for a VBAC. And so I did the spinning babies. I, you know, went home, and a part of me felt defeated, and another part of me just felt like, gosh, I really want this. Like, I need to give it my all. I need to do everything that I can to just make this happen. So I went home, I did a bunch of like spinning babies exercises at night while my husband and I would watch TV, and I just, you know, I prayed a lot, and I kept walking. I kept doing all the things, okay, to try and make this happen on its own. And then we had to move. And so I remember going to my 39th week appointment, and I was seeing an OB at that point, my midwife and an OB, because I had 2 previous C-sections, and he's like, the baby's in position, she's head down, she's in a good position. I would be surprised if you get to your C-section date, which was October 15th. My original due date was October 7th, which was the day that she was born. So anyway, she's such a good girl. I love her. She even arrived on time, like, which, you know, we all know that the due date is like a rough estimate, but still, like, I love my daughter so much. She's so good to me. And so anyway, we did that, and we moved. I was like 39, yeah, I was 39 weeks pregnant, and we moved from one house to the next. We just moved like down the street. But you know, moving at 39 weeks pregnant, that's a lot of like moving around and doing stuff. Of course, my husband did most of the work, and my sister. But still, I feel like just the stress of it, and of course, like, I helped do like light work, it just prepared my body to go into labor. So that weekend that we moved here on Sunday, it was already October 7th, we moved that weekend. I started to feel what like I thought were contractions, which they were. And I always hear, like, I watch so many videos, like, when you're going through early labor, just try to relax and try to sleep through it, because you're gonna need the energy. And so I did that. So at 3:30 in the morning, I started feeling the pains, and I just, like, I felt like this is gonna happen, like, I'm gonna be able to do this. And so I just relaxed. I tried to sleep. So from 3:30 to 5:30, the contractions were like 6 to 10 minutes apart, and they just kept getting stronger, because then from 5:30 to 8:30 in the morning, I was like, oh my gosh, they're 3 minutes apart. I downloaded an app, and I started timing the contractions, and they started getting so intense to the point where I was vocal. Like, I was like a savage woman, like, just panting and like just doing weird noises that I've never made in my life. So when my husband woke up to go to PT, I told him, okay, I think I can make it for you to go to PT and then come back, and then we're heading to the hospital. So we did that. He came back, and he was like, do I still have time to take a shower? And I was like, all right, well, hurry up. Like, I'm, you know, why do you need to take a shower? But, you know, he was all sweaty from PT, and they did like a really hardcore one that day. So I was like, okay, yes, please hurry up. And he was like calm, like just so calm. And like, I think that helped me to stay calm, because I think internally I was kind of freaking out, because the pains were just so intense. Even my 5-year-old came in, and he was like, mommy, are you okay? And like I showed him like what I was doing on the phone, just keeping track of the contractions. And then he was so sweet. Like, he would tell me, it's okay, mommy, the pain is almost over, my sister's almost here, because I just explained to him how like I get pains and then they go away. And anyway, he was so cute. And so then Jose gets home, takes a shower. We leave at 8:30 for the hospital. And you guys, having contractions on the way to the hospital is just, it's the worst. Like, I was just praying. We were listening to worship music in the car, and I was just like, oh Lord, like, just thinking about it makes me emotional. I was just like, God, Lord, please help me. Like, it's one of those pains that you feel like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, that's the only time that I think I doubted, I don't know if I can do this. And mind you, for me, it wasn't as important to have a like unmedicated labor as it was to just have like a vaginal delivery. Like, that's what I really wanted. I'm not against, I'm like kind of a modern slash also like old school kind of person. I'm like a mix of both. So I know a lot of old school moms are like, I want to feel all the pain, and like, you know, and I'm like, I don't want to feel all the pain. I just want her to come out from down there, and I like want to have a merry old time. Like I don't want to feel all the pain. At some point I want to get pain medication. So we get to the hospital and Jose is so calm. Okay, my husband sometimes speeds and I was wondering, why are you not speeding? Like, hurry up. This hurts, you know? But he was just so calm and I really appreciated that afterwards because it kept me kind of calm. Like, I wasn't frantic or anything. Only when I would get like the contractions, of course I would like just vocalize and you know, I would just remind myself like, you can do this. Your body was made for this. Like, you've got this. You know, God made you for this. I would talk to the baby. And so we get to the hospital and right away the first thing that I did was like, I need an epidural. Like, I am in a lot of pain. And of course they were like, well, we need to fill out some paperwork first and check you and all these things. And I was just like, hurry up. Like, it just seems like an eternity, you know? I didn't say hurry up. I was very polite. But so I got there. I wanted the epidural. The anesthesiologist came in. And like, I already knew what was gonna happen because I have gotten the epidural with the other two deliveries. And so he comes in, Jose is holding me because you have to like slouch, bend. And he says to the nurse, I think I'm gonna pass out. And like a bunch of nurses just started like running in the background and like grabbing him and like grabbing a chair and having him sit down. And I was like, what is going on? Like, my husband is not the kind to like, he's not like, I don't know which word it is to describe, but he's very strong. Like, he's not like, oh, I'm gonna pass out. Like, but what we forgot to mention was that he didn't have any breakfast and I didn't have any breakfast either. Like, we came straight to the hospital without having any breakfast, and he had just gotten out from a really intense workout during PT, and so I think that's what was happening. And so he was like turning really white and pale, and so they got him some snacks and soda or something, and he was fine like 5 minutes later. But I thought it was hilarious how dramatic everybody was. This like huge lady, like nurse, just like grabbed him, and it was very comical, like when we think back at it. But anyway, the anesthesiologist said it went in like butter, everything is fine. And so I'm like here waiting, and I'm like, okay, when is the pain gonna go away? Because I remember with the boys, like after 10 minutes of getting the epidural or so, I felt like I was in heaven. Like, oh, like I was fine, everything was great, you know? And then I kept waiting, and then 15 minutes, 20 minutes passed, and I was like, why am I still feeling the pain? And so they came in and he tried to adjust it, and like it took the edge off, but I was still feeling the pain. I could move my legs, like I could still just feel, and I wanted to not feel anything. But I think it probably helped when it was time to push, because like I could feel when the contractions were coming, and like I used that to like push. But anyway, so he left, and I just decided, you know what, if it didn't work, it didn't, like, it's for a reason, and it's fine, like I can handle it. And there was this, I'm a very like visual learner, and there was this artwork of like a lavender field, and I would just look at that. Every contraction that I would get, I would just look at that, and then I remembered all of the like affirmations that I wrote down, and just the things that I would tell myself. And you know, I told my husband, this is something that I have to do on my own. And I think in the past, in other deliveries, I like looked to him for support and like, please, like, help me. Like, I need your help. And this time I just felt like the confidence, and I felt like it's me. Like, I need you to cheer me on, but I need you to be on the sidelines. This is something that I have to do on my own. Whew. Just saying that brings so much, like, I just feel so empowered saying that, because I love my husband, and you know, we're such a great team together, and he was so good, and he just was such a support, just being calm and telling me I could do it. And one of the nurses was so shocked that he wouldn't watch TV, because she's like, well, you could turn on the TV, it might take long. He's like, my wife's in labor, why would I watch TV? And she was kind of like taken aback, like, what? I don't know if all the other husbands watch TV or something, I don't know. But she said later on, she walked back in and she's like, we were so impressed that you said that you're not gonna watch TV because your wife is in labor and you just want to be there for her. And to me, it's like, yeah, he better not be watching TV while I'm in pain, you know? But anyway, that was one of the things that that I do want to share, just spiritually and emotionally. I feel like the Lord said, your healing is not in the outcome, your healing is in the process. And gosh, I feel like the Lord healed me from just all the trauma that I experienced through my first birth. That was very traumatic for me. I felt like something was taken from me. And with the second one, I felt better, but I still, like, it's one of those things that you're like, man, I really wanted this and it didn't happen. And you just learn to live with it and cope with it and take the good and leave the bad. But like when something doesn't go away, when a desire doesn't go away, at least in my life, I've learned that it's because it has still yet to happen. So anyway, that was like the big title over my whole pregnancy. Like, your healing is not in the outcome. So my hope and my chips were not on if I had a vaginal delivery. Like, I wanted to be a healed whole woman in this area of like giving birth and doing labor before I even went into labor. And I think that's why I was able to do it, because I went into labor just being confident, knowing that I could do it. And the reason that I knew that I could do it was because I just dug deep, and I just, I would have, you guys know that faith plays a big role in my life, and I would just have conversations with God and ask him, like, why do I feel like this in this area? Or why do I don't know if you guys know, but I'm a very small person. I'm 4'10". I'm not like huge or anything. I'm very petite. And that has always been something that has like just been like over me. And I grew up always telling myself, I don't know if I could ever deliver a baby naturally because I'm so small. And because of what they had told me from my other like previous, births. And like, I just believed what people told me instead of what God says about me. And I'm a person that when there's like a person of like authority, like I'm like a rule follower. And so if a doctor tells me like, you can't do this, we have to do it this way, like I'm just like, I take them at their word, and this time I felt like I have to take God at his word, and I have to believe in myself and be my own advocate, because nobody's gonna care about my labor and delivery more than I do, And so I went in there I just felt strong. I felt like I could do it. So anyway, at 11:45, my water broke, and they checked me again, and it broke on its own. They checked me again, and I was 7 to 8 centimeters dilated. And so I was happy because I knew that, things were going on and it was happening. So by 2 p.m., I was already 10 centimeters dilated, 100% effaced. Well, I was already 100% effaced when I first got to the hospital. And so it was time to push. And you guys, I think that was where I felt the least confident during labor, is because I didn't know what to do. Like I didn't know what the right way to like push was. I just remember I was like, gosh, I remember taking those birth classes, and I remember the lactation consultant, or the person that gave us the class with my firstborn, I remember she would say, don't push with your like mouth, and like don't clench down, and like close your eyes. Don't do that. Like, fix your eyes on something, which for me was that lavender field picture, and push like from your abdomen down. I think that's what she said. And so that's what I started doing, and we were an hour in. She was coming and going in, coming and going in, and then finally the OB comes in, and he's like, I see that you're trying and you're making great effort, but if we don't see anything happen within the next 15 to 20 minutes, we're gonna have to call it. I'm not willing to put you or your baby in danger, and we're gonna have to have a C-section. And so when I heard those words, a part of me felt like you're either gonna break up, just fall apart, or like you're gonna do this. And I felt like when he told me that, I felt like, okay. And he even said, I want you to prove me wrong and tell me like, and show me that you can do this. And I don't know if he was supposed to say that or not, but that like invigorated me, and not in an angry way, but just it gave me the motivation that I needed to like, okay, I'm gonna do this, because I do not want another C-section. And I looked to my husband, and then I was like, no, like I'm not gonna find my reassurance from him. Like, I already know it. But we just looked at each other, and I looked at my midwife, and I had tears in my eyes, and we just locked eyes. And then she came over and she was like, okay, let's do this. Put your legs up, start pushing. And that like just changed everything. Like I knew my husband believed in me. I knew that she believed in me, and I knew that I believed in myself, and that's all I needed. And so then the OB walks away. So she was like, okay, let's do this. And so I started pushing again, and I kept pushing, and I was like, I can still go. Like, all of the nurses were kind of looking at me, like waiting for me to say, okay, just wheel me in. And mind you, during this time that I was pushing, they sent the people in to come and prep me for the C-section. They were doing like stuff to my nose, like cleaning it and stuff. And they were like just putting like, they were just basically prepping me for the C-section, and it just made me want to like prove them wrong even more. And so my midwife came, and this might be a TMI for some people, but like I this is like the reality of things, and I just want to share it. Like, she came in and she was like, okay, let's have this baby. And she like stretched me, and she kept stretching me, and it hurt so bad. And she's like, come on, mama, you can do this, like keep going. Like, she was so gentle but so firm. Seriously, I love her. Like, I don't know what I would have done without her. Truly, I don't know what I would have done without her. I know she was heaven sent, and she has the same name as my best friend Krista. So anyway, so I kept pushing and pushing, and finally, like, like when it took me almost 2 hours to push her out. I was 2 minutes shy of reaching the 2-hour mark when she came out, but I remember I just focused, and I was like in another world. Like, I was there and I was present, but I was like in another world. Just, I felt like God contending for me, and I felt like God making way for me. I felt like the people who didn't need to be in the room during that time were not there. And there was like, my husband was holding my leg, and another nurse was holding the other leg, and then my midwife. And then at some point my husband was here, and there was 2 nurses and my midwife. And like, I just kept going, and then she finally, like, I did that one last push, and like, it just felt like, oh, like, I have never felt this in my life. I cannot believe that I am pushing like a human out of my being. And they didn't ask me if I wanted to like see or anything like that, and I was just so focused on what was happening. I like didn't look down or anything. I just wanted her to be out. And so like, she kept, you know, stretching me and pulling, and when she finally came out, like, my baby girl barely even cried, and I was so worried. I've learned throughout just having her, and throughout these last 6 weeks that I've had her, that God not only heals you like one area, he heals the entire process. As that's still like a word over me, like, the healing is in the process, not in the outcome. And because there's healing in the process, the outcome is good. So I stopped focusing on the outcome and just focused on the process. And so I just felt so proud of my daughter and myself. Like, it speaks so much to us women, and just the fact that she's a girl, and she barely even cried. She cried a little bit, and what I was gonna say is that I was worried. I was like, why isn't she crying? Like, shouldn't she be crying? And I like wanted to revert back to like being traumatized and feeling like something has to go wrong. Like, all of these things have been going right, something's bound to go wrong. And that's a person that is speaking out of like trauma, you know. And they're like, no, she's fine, everything is great, she's just very alert, she wants to know what is going on, just like her mom. I like to know what is going on, I don't want to miss out. And so everything was great. And so then when she came out, you know, the nurses were like so happy and congratulating me, and I just kept saying, I did it. Like I couldn't believe that I did it. Like, I could, but I couldn't believe it was over. Like, the pain was gone. And I just kept saying, I did it, thank you guys so much. Like, I just kept thanking them for like letting me go. And the OB walks in, and he's like, wow, you should be very proud of yourself. He's like, not only did you prove me wrong, but you made great effort. And he's like, wow, I'm really impressed by you. And like, that meant the world, just for him to like, you know, be able to recognize that he I don't know, that he was wrong about me, was nice. And he did it in a gentle way. I know my husband was kind of taken aback, like, don't you dare be giving my wife 15 to 20 minutes to give birth. Like, it's her body, she's gonna give birth whenever she's gonna give birth, you know. But for me, it just really motivated me. Just the way that he was kind of invigorated me to like, all right, I'll show you, doctor. So after that, my baby girl was born. Everything was great. She was born on October 7th. She weighed 7.4 pounds, super healthy. She was right in between my other two because Kalani weighed 6 pounds 14 ounces. She weighed 7.4 ounces, and Ezra weighed 9 pounds. And so everything was great. She was great. She latched on, and even then I was like, Lord, please help me not have any issues with breastfeeding. And I didn't have any issues with breastfeeding. Like I was a little nervous that she wouldn't latch on or that I wouldn't get enough milk, because I've always had just issues in the past, in the beginning when I first give birth with my kids, and then everything is great. But I didn't have any issues with her. She wasn't jaundiced, like nothing. She's just perfect. Everything is great. And I came home just feeling like, oh my gosh, I can't believe like this happened. I can't believe we did it, like, and it's over, and I never have to do this again. And it was just such a healing experience for me, and like it changed my life. I am convinced that there's nothing that I can't do. Whatever dreams I have, like I know for sure, for a fact, that I can accomplish them if I set my mind to doing them. And I want to make another video kind of sharing for other moms like how I prepared for my VBAC, just because I did a lot of technical things, and there are other things that I didn't do and I still got my VBAC. But yeah, it's such a great victory for me, and I took time. That's why I took a while to film this video, because I really took time to just take everything in. I'm still kind of in shock that I did it, and I don't know, I really believe that one of the reasons why we're here in New York, away from home, away from family, is because this was a place that was gonna allow me to give birth to my child, you know, just on my own terms. And I don't know, I just feel so accomplished. I feel alive. I feel well. And then I asked on Instagram if anybody had any questions, and some of my amazing friends actually asked some questions, and I wrote them down so that I wouldn't forget. Hannah asked, delivering at a military hospital versus a civilian hospital. So Hannah, the hospital that we went to, like Fort Drum doesn't have its own hospital. I know that other bases have their own hospitals, but we don't. We get seen, the insurance that I have is to be able to see off-post OBs and midwives and stuff. So, but even the people that have the insurance where you see like military doctors and stuff, you still have to deliver at the hospital that I delivered, and it's like a hospital that is here in town, like 15 minutes away. So it's like a regular hospital. And it also, I was gonna say that it was so nice because it was renovated, and God, if you know me, I hate going into hospitals. I hate the smell, I hate the colors, I just so I was really thankful that like I was one of the first people to be in like the newly renovated labor and delivery rooms. It was so nice. Like back in California at the hospital that I give birth, it's one of the nicest hospitals in the area. So I was thankful for that. So yeah, I can't really give any comparison because I have never given birth at a military hospital. But thank you for the question. Everybody though at that hospital was absolutely amazing. The nurses, my midwife, everybody was amazing. I will definitely say that. And then my friend March asked, what was your greatest desire for your birth aside from the VBAC? My greatest desire was to go into this healed, out of a healed heart, to step into this warfare, because that's what it felt like, that I was like going into war, but knowing that I was going to win the battle, not going to war to try and win the battle. I don't know if you see like the difference, like that's what it was. And to go through this like on my own, just me and the Lord, like there are some battles that you have to fight, just you and God, and that's what I wanted. I just wanted to be filled with the confidence that God has given me and not doubt him along the way, and that's exactly what happened. And I love that this is my story to tell, and I love that I can relate to C-section women, and that now I can relate to having a vaginal delivery. Like I get to, how do I say, I get to be able to connect with both sides, and that's ultimately what I wanted. I want my story to be able to impact other people and to empower other people to be able to also make their dreams come true. So that is like one of the greatest desires that I wanted. And I also wanted like no complications. I wanted to see God's hand pre and, you know, during labor, delivery, and postpartum. And like, I have yet to be disappointed, and I know I'm not going to be disappointed because everything has been so great. And I just feel like I'm at another level, just as a woman and as a daughter, as a wife, as a mother, and I'm just so grateful for that. And then my friend Joanne asked, was vaginal delivery what you imagined it to be or heard it was like? The actual labor part, yes, I felt like I've heard enough stories to like know what to expect, and a lot of those things did happen. And girl, if anybody wants to know how to go into labor, like DM me, and there's other stuff that I don't think I like want to share, but yes, I don't know why I'm saying that right now, but anyway, but the postpartum part is not what I thought it was gonna be like. Earlier, I thought I was just gonna be like, you know, prancing around the house after 2 to 3 days, and that was not the case. Like, it's taken me a while to heal. The healing process it's not what I expected. And like just walking around and feeling like your insides are gonna come out, or not being able to go to the bathroom. Like that first day I wasn't able to like go to the bathroom or like pee or anything, and it was just like I was just so, Lord help me. But so those are most of the highlights of my labor and delivery story. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. I will make another video for all my C-section mamas trying to have their own VBAC. For me, it was a VBAC after 2 C-sections. It is doable. You can do it. One thing that I failed to mention was that afterwards, when they were checking me, they checked my C-section scar. Things that they said afterwards when they checked me that I was like just shocked to learn, and that they were kind of shocked, were like, it doesn't even feel like you ever had a C-section. Like, it healed so well. Like, you could barely even tell that there's a scar there because they checked it both internally and externally. And when I heard those words, I was like, that is God. Like, that is God. Because you know, the main thing when you're having a VBAC that everybody's scared of, which I understand the danger in it, is having a uterine rupture where your C-section scar is. So like, I understand all of that, but just for them to be able to say, look, it's as if you never even had a C-section, was just like, I know that that is God. Because there have been so many other stories that I have read where like they felt their C-section like scar burn when they were trying to like give birth, you know, vaginally to their other, you know, kids. And I'm just thankful that I didn't feel anything. And a lot of it, I feel like it's God, and a lot of it also has to do with me waiting a while to get pregnant again and to give birth. Thank you guys so much for watching my video, for following my journey, and for supporting me. My next video will be on how I prepared for my VBAC for all my other mamas who are attempting to do the same. Hopefully that video helps some of you guys out. And I just want to say how grateful I am. We love our daughter. She's amazing. I will probably do an update video on her as well. And gosh, having a girl, I didn't know it was going to be this fun to have a girl. I always thought that I was just going to want to be a boy mom, but I am so pleasantly surprised at how fun and how endearing being a mother of a daughter is. So it's getting kind of late. I just came back from picking up my son, but I just wanted to introduce you guys. This is Honor Noah. Say hi, Mama. You're such a good girl. Yeah, this is my sweet precious daughter. So happy to be a girl mama. Yeah, look at you. Look at you. You're such a good girl. She's about to take a nap. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for all of your support, all of your love. Help me get to 500 subscribers. If you think she's so cute, make sure that you give this video a like. Huh? Tell them subscribe to my mommy's channel so you guys can keep seeing me. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Yeah, there you go. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.